I live in San Francisco and have a map of human shit around the city so I don't fucking step in it. What does that even mean? You can just, like, open your eyes. You don't need, like, a GPS shit radar. Just walk around with your eyes open. Unless they're, like, disguising it, putting leaves over it, I guess. Like, booby-trapping it, but I can't imagine. It's a real thing, you can look it up. What, an actual shit radar? You know what? Fine, fuck it, I will look it up. I don't even want to type in San Francisco poop UAV? Like, what am I looking up? San Francisco poop map A. No shot. What? Alright, here, let's take a peek here. Alright, if you're in the San Francisco area, you want to get the fuck out of Buena Vista Park ASAP. Let me tell you what, that place is a landmine. Just waiting to go up. So is this updated in real time, so someone will see shit on the street and they'll report it to the San Francisco poop map? Yeah, like actual feces epidemiologists. Chase Center's doing pretty well. It looks like there's only one load. Zoom in. Oh! No, this isn't shit. This is just like human beings walking around, I'm sure. Oh, nah, no shot. Let me see. How deep can I go? Can I get like a live Google Street View here? Let me inspect the poop for myself. Maybe it's been mislabeled. Wow, this is kind of wild. How accurate is this? Do we have any boots on the ground in Clinton Park? Can you tell me if there's just like this mountain of shit over here off the road? These are in buildings. Are they counting like toilets that aren't flushed? This is a parking lot? Oh, okay. Man, Clinton Park is getting hit rough right now. Someone came through with the goddamn drone strike here, poop. Click them, I tried, it didn't do anything. Oh, never mind. Oh my god, they have it like actually marked like a wild animal. Human or animal waste. 269 Clinton Park. Who's Supervisor 8? This feels like an SCP. Yesterday was Taco Tuesday. Oh, true. Yeah, we're getting it right in the thick of it. Street view at the bottom. Okay, I probably can't show that on stream, but I want to see it. Exit Tier 1 Freak Show, Tier 1 Denny, and the resub Ethan and Gracchus. Alright, let's see. There's no way. There's no way there's going to be poop here. No, this is... Okay, this is showing the actual street view of where it is. So, if you go here, you'll see poop on the street, I guess. To be fair, this does look like an actual toilet. There's a little yucky area there. Okay, so this is a hot spot right now for public shitting, I guess. Poop stream, let's go. Yeah, I'll have to make a journey out there. If you click the URL, it shows you the shit. Alright, let me take a peek. URL, more info. Oh my god! Alright, that's fucking awesome. The shit map seems accurate, I suppose. But maybe it's a giant scam. So, according to the URL, the piece of poop is right next to... It looks like a porta potty. But I didn't see any porta potties on Street View. So here, let's go back to Street View and see if I can maybe locate the Genesis. It said USS. Oh, it's gonna be here. Yeah, it's gonna be in here. Yeah, 100%. Hold on, let me turn the corner. Yeah, I know the Street View is just old. I'm just trying to, like, locate it. Like, where the area was. And I think it was in here. Yeah, there. It was right here. Hold on. Can I get in the? Can I come in the parking lot? Can you let me in? Oh Jesus. Hold on. I see it. It's not a porta potty. It was right there. I don't think I can just show actual pieces of poop on stream, but they took a shit right there and someone snapped a picture of it and put it on the San Francisco poop mapper. It's a dog. They did say it could be human or animal, but regardless, dog shit should still be picked up by the owner. So bad owner. Oh, yeah, you're right. This is a pet food place. I didn't even read that. Okay, let's see what else has been mapped and plotted. So Clinton Park, it's been overrun. It looks like a lost cause. Let's go somewhere else. San Francisco fans, where's your favorite place to visit? Let me see if I can find some shit nearby. Collectible map. Golden Gate Park. That's not fair. That's cheating. We know Golden Gate Park is going to be a goddamn hot zone. No way. You're telling me Golden Gate Park has less poop in it than a single street on Clinton Road? What? It's consumed. Oh, true. Yeah, they might be eating it, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Oh, what is this? Good lord, this place has been bombed. Let's go to Clayton. Okay. Is there any of them that just say human? Like where there's no guesswork? Like this is definitely a human shit. Let's see. With no question about it, an animal couldn't leave this behind. Let's contribute. Yeah, this will be the new r/place. You just make art out of shit on the San Francisco poop map. It looks like it's always going to say human/waste. Let's go to this one. Let me take a peek. Oh, this one doesn't have a URL. Neither does this one. This could be a false report. Okay, this one does. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, that one got blasted. Alright. Let's see if I can match the area here. So someone took a shit on this front door and smeared it all the way down. So let's see if we can find that door. Pre-shitting. Right now, this put us in someone's... I think this is a salon. Okay, not here. It was a large black double door building. I think. Let me double check. I think it was double doors. Yes, double doors. Gold locks and a pull handle. Thanks for 5 gift subs, Bliss. And the resub James, Monkey, Josh, Purgatory, Cats. And the Prime True. Okay, let's see. Keep your eyes peeled for 2 black doors with gold pull handles. The perpetrator could be anywhere. He's at large. Can I go this way? Jesus Christ, please. I can't go anywhere down this street. Did the Google truck just say it's too gross? I'm turning around? What the fuck? Let's go this way. This is like GeoGuessr, but for shit. Yeah, oh, we're getting close, because here's the double doors. Now we're just looking for 2 black double doors, gold locks. Probably got renovated. Bro, it's getting shit smeared on it. I don't think it got renovated. Also, to be fair, one of the doors is held up by a piece of wood like this. But it's not this place. Though I guess it could be. Maybe there's poop here right now. The windows are boarded up with wood. The locks are gold. It's 2 black doors. And there's picture frames on the sides. And there's shit smeared on the door. That won't be on the street view, I don't think. But we should be able to get a good idea of where it is based on, like, there's like a bunch of pictures going up to the door. And I really think it's on this street. Can you draw us a police sketch? Oh. Black door, gold handle. Gold lock. But this is not double doors. And there's no place for picture frames. But we're close. This might have even been the person who shit on it. I think we're close. God, I'm gonna feel like a real detective when I actually find the place that got shit on. Wait a minute. Wait, just a patty flipping moment. This... no. I thought that was a black door. It's not. There's no door there. Thanks, resub blue pill and the prime spaghetti. Yeah, I don't know what that means either, Brad. I don't know what the supervisor thing means. Is it a theater? It sounds like you're describing the front of a theater. No, by picture frames, I mean it has like... It has not pictures in it, but like printed out essays. Like it looks like what's hung up is permits. And they're in little frames leading up to the door. This honestly could be it. Double door, black doors. Because this street view is from 2014, whereas the poop is 2022, I think. So it could have just changed over time. I really think this might be it. Let me double check the file. Okay, here. Maybe... Yeah, I'm checking the evidence. Just give me a second. It's just there's so much fucking poop here. Like, every time I try and just cut it out, there's just more poop smeared on this door. That's... I mean, I can show it like this, but I don't think it's going to be super helpful in our mission here. Here, I'll do it anyway, but... I don't think you're going to get... I don't think you're getting too much out of it. Okay, here. Beneath where this is cropped, there's just a fucking mountain of shit. But yeah, this is the doors we're looking for. And over here, there's picture frames with, I think, permits framed in there. But yeah, the more I look at this, the more I realize this is not the same door. This is a glass door, and I don't think they would have fully replaced. Another thing I noticed is leading up to the door, you couldn't see it, but it also had black tile. So it doesn't just have concrete here, it transitions into black tile. So that should give us a clue. Kind of like what they did over here. You see how it goes to like a rug? Instead of a rug, it's black tile. Are you just trying to guess the city? No, man, I'm trying to find where this man took a shit. What do you... No, I know this is San Francisco. That's why we're here. Someone said San Francisco is really nice, and some other guy said, bro, I literally have a shit map for how to avoid poop in San Francisco, and I didn't believe him. And it turns out he was telling the truth. There's an entire map of live poop updates. With pictures, URLs, and street views. But why does poop happen here? What's the lore? I don't know, man. I guess San Francisco is just kind of fucking yucky. Because this map has shit everywhere. With pictures of it. Just all in public. I don't think we're going to find this place, though. I think Street View took us too far away. But if I had to guess, it'd be like one of these residential areas. Like the steps leading up to the door, or maybe even outside the garage, perhaps. But yeah, we won't find it, I don't think. Is this a live map or all the poop people have ever found? I think it's a live map. So, like, if we come down here to... Let's go down here. This looks like a... Wow, this is a real hot spot. Damn, they're building buildings out of poop over here. So if we come over here and click on them, they tell us, like, the date, I think, right? Okay. So it looks like there's a couple of logs right off the street in front of a telephone pole. Let's see if we can find that telephone pole. Alright, we're in it. Telephone pole here. I want to see if it's the same graffiti too, because this is a street view of June 2021, so the graffiti's probably the same. Not this one. Oh, actually. Check the evidence. So there should be a blue streak on in front of the telephone pole with black text that says T something. But this is so washed out I can't tell. And then on the telephone pole itself, there were 2 yellow streaks that had some lady's name on it. I can't tell if this is it, though. Let's check another telephone pole, but that does look like it could be the one, but I feel like every telephone pole is going to have similar shit over here. Not that one, the graffiti's too good. We've definitely found the right sidewalk, though. Oh, there's a... Oh, there's the one! Oh, wait, that's the one! Stop! Ah, Christ! Yeah, the yellow shit on the side here. In the picture, I thought it was a lady's name, but I don't think it is. Yeah, there was a whole load of shit right in front of this. That was recently documented. Oh, let's fucking go! We finally tracked one down. Alright! So if you're in the area, avoid this telephone pole in particular. Off Osage Street. Well, that was good. Can't wait to visit San Francisco. I'll buy you a drink and we can go shit sighting. That sounds like a plan. We'll just start documenting all the poops everywhere. 233 Osage Street, another one by a pole. We got neighborhood watch out here just looking for shit now. Taking a flashlight to it and calling the cops. A couple days ago we had the solar eclipse, which, to sane people, is just a fun spectacle to ooh and awe at. It's a very rare event. It's like a special occasion in an MMO. And people just got together, checked it out, and went on with their lives. Nothing crazy happened, but leading up to it, there was a lot of hoopla, a lot of hooting and hollering about all kinds of doomsday prophecies, all kinds of crazy conspiracies. But when it actually came down to the brass tacks here and the eclipse unfolded, nothing happened. I think the worst that would happen to someone is they decide to look at the eclipse raw dog. No eyewear on, so they look up and they blind themselves. Now all of a sudden their vision's all foggy, and anytime they try to look at titties, it's blurry. But that's about the extent of the danger of the eclipse. However, those crazy conspiracies I mentioned, well, they actually led to an astrology influencer killing her partner, her 8-month-old, and herself. A very popular astrology influencer, whom had a massive Twitter audience, started melting down, blowing a gasket over this eclipse about how it's the apocalypse and how people need to wake up. And now she will never be able to wake up because on the day of the eclipse, she went on a killing spree, which included herself. She believed that the eclipse was the epitome of spiritual warfare. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Well, actually, it's only going to sound familiar to the people that are fucking online 24/7, which is goobers like me. That spiritual warfare line is something that was spit up and regurgitated by thousands of Twitter drones that were trying to, like, fearmonger on every possible aspect. Even the most trivial nothing burgers. Do you guys remember, like, 6 months ago when they tested the emergency broadcast text? And people on Twitter were losing their goddamn minds about it. Like, make sure your phones are locked in 5 layers of aluminum foil and put it in your microwave, and then lock yourself in a dark room and turn the bathtub on. Because if that text message reaches you, it's going to activate the 5G in your brain, and the microchips are going to fucking flip on, and you're going to be a sheep under their control. This is how you got to break out. Every single time there's anything going on in the world, this line about spiritual warfare or why this is the apocalypse or the start of the doomsday is always being preached about by mentally unwell individuals online. But because everyone is online, people have so much access to it. So people like Danielle Johnson, who's the astrology influencer that went on this killing spree, sees all of it, buys into it, and is living their life fearful and delusioned. And then when something like the eclipse happens, after being told so many times how bad it is and how this is the apocalypse, she goes and does something crazy, something evil. Because there are so many mentally unwell people online that are constantly feeding other mentally unwell people, and it ends with a fucking tragedy like this. You hear about the influencer who killed her family because of the eclipse? Happened in LA. Mom accused of murder-suicide leaving kids on 405 freeway was an astrology influencer fearful of the eclipse. Mentally unwell people have become. Well, I guess I can't say have become. I guess because it's more so we just have access to seeing them. Since everyone is seen online now, everyone has a digital footprint, we just see all of them now. But to be this afraid of a fucking eclipse? The death of an infant and the injury of a young girl, both found on the 405 freeway earlier this week, was tied to a murder-suicide investigation involving the children's mother, Danielle Johnson. It spanned 3 neighborhoods and resulted in the death of 3 people, including her partner, her 8-month-old, and herself. In the days leading up to the murders, Johnson took to social media where she posted a slew of misinformation, anti-Semitic, and conspiratorial rhetoric under the handle Ayoka. Johnson retweeted posts about theories regarding the origins of COVID-19, video about Jews promoting pedophilia in the entertainment industry, and apocalyptic speech concerning the recent solar eclipse to her over 100,000 social media followers. How are more people not talking about this then? If she had 100k followers on Twitter, and she was one of these like conspiracy lunatics that ended up killing herself, her partner, and her child, how are more people not aware of this? Wake up, the apocalypse is here. Everyone who has ears, listen. Your time to choose what you believe is now. If you believe a new world is possible for the people, retweet now. There's power in choice. There is power in choice. Repost to make the choice for the collective. On Monday morning, the day of the recent total solar eclipse, Johnson's 2 children were found on the northbound side of the 405 freeway. According to officers, the 9-year-old held their infant sister in her lap, sitting in the passenger seat of Johnson's car while they drove down the freeway. Johnson allegedly slowed down in the middle of the road and pushed 2 girls out of the car. As the 9-year-old fell into the middle of the freeway, she injured herself and dropped the infant. And then, in a race to get out of the freeway and not get hit by the traffic, the 9-year-old managed to get to the shoulder successfully, but the infant was struck by traffic and succumbed to her injuries in the middle of the freeway. Holy fuck, this is absolutely horrific. The infant's death was connected to a murder in Woodland Hills and a fatal car crash in Redondo Beach. A woman in her mid-30s fatally stabbed and killed her partner around 3:30 a.m. The stabbing victim was 29-year-old Jalen Allen Cheney, Johnson's partner and father of one of the girls. After stabbing Cheney and leaving the 2 girls in the middle of 405, police said Johnson drove down to Redondo Beach. Her car crashed into a tree around 5 a.m. near a church. Authorities say Johnson died at the scene and her death is being treated as suicide. She was driving at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. She did all of that, and ironically, she's now going to hell. Yep. And I bet she heard all of this from a bunch of those absolute fucking degenerate Twitter users saying the most outlandish shit ever, and she just bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Ends up killing herself, her partner, her 8-month-old. All over a total solar eclipse that lasted fucking minutes. But the moon is in retrophase, Charlie. Astrology has a major impact. Right you are, I suppose. How have I not heard about this? This feels like it'd be everywhere. She had 100,000 people in her audience. That's not a small number. I mean, her engagement isn't like super low. Like, I don't think this is all bots or anything. Like, her posts get like 600k, a mil. And just reading through these, clearly mentally unwell. That's the wildest part about Twitter. You can just literally take a peek into actual, like, psychosis. It's scary. And then they're constantly, like, enabling others, and then it escalates to something like this. It's extraordinarily sad because I don't believe everyone that preaches these things is someone that believes them. I believe they're doing it because it fosters a community that will buy into it, and then they have this loyal following, this loyal audience that they can sell things to and make money off of. So I think a lot of the people that are always saying things about how the eclipse is about to end the world because it's waging spiritual war on us, so it's time to pick a side, the righteous or the devil, that kind of thing. I think a lot of the people that start propagating that are some of those people that have recognized they can make a lot of money from doing so. And they are directly responsible for situations like this because they feed into it. They make people believe it, and they make people afraid, and they make people do crazy things, people that are already not mentally sound. It's sickening. They just try and take every controversial approach to everything they can about how anything is a huge problem that you need to be afraid of. You need to wake up to. You see that
verbiage all the time on Twitter and on TikTok. CERN's opening a portal, letting demons through on the day of the solar eclipse. Take cover. Buy my book that's going to enlighten you on how to avoid all of the demons in your life, because now CERN's working behind the scenes, pulling the strings, the puppet masters that are releasing all this demons into our world. And for a lot of the people that watch these things or read about these and start believing them, once you believe in one of these theories, you start believing in all of them, because then you start convincing yourself of every single one of them, no matter how nonsensical or illogical, no matter how little evidence or proof there is. Once you buy into it even slightly, you convince yourself that it's all true. So you don't just believe in one conspiracy anymore, you start believing in all of them. Look at Danielle Johnson, for example. All of her tweets are every possible conspiracy you can find. Every conspiracy you can think of, she believed in. And I'm sure it started with just one that she saw from someone on Twitter that is once again just fanning those flames, trying to make people afraid, and trying to get them to buy into whatever they're trying to sell you. Now, that's not every case here. There is a lot of instances where extremely mentally unwell people gather a huge audience and they themselves truly believe the awful things they're spitting out. But I think a lot of it is from people that have recognized that you can make a lot of money from capitalizing off of that community. Because when people are afraid, they'll do anything to get rid of that fear, including buying shit they don't need or whatever. And then in some cases like this, all that fear that you keep serving up leads to a horrible situation where someone that was the recipient of all of these awful ideas that have legitimately no basis and no logic to them does something unforgivable. What Danielle Johnson did is heinous, inexcusable, and disgusting. And I really do believe that all of those TikTok and Twitter conspiracy accounts that keep just fucking firing from the hip with the most ridiculous theories ever did play a real role in her getting to this point. It's no coincidence that all of the things that she was speaking about on her Twitter are the same things you see on other accounts all saying similar things. It's a network that's feeding these dangerous ideas that lead to a breaking point in some people. It is fucking atrocious, and I am confident that none of those accounts will ever acknowledge the role they play in a case like Danielle Johnson. They're gonna throw her some kind of like fringe case like, oh, I can't believe someone would do something like that. We're just trying to give you guys the truth, give you guys the tools to, you know, snap out of it and wake up from the mind control. What Danielle Johnson did, oh, we have no idea how it got to that point. Even though, if you read these posts or watch these videos from these accounts, they're like legitimately pushing people to be like Danielle Johnson. Push them down that path of just extreme mental illness. It's fucking horrifying. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about this a little bit because it made me really upset. Obviously, I think it would make anybody upset reading a story like this. That's really about it. So yeah. I remember growing up, there was always a bit of a panic every Halloween about the safety of the candy you get while trick-or-treating, with things like razor blades and apples, that legend that was floating around a lot back then, and then also the contamination potential of someone sneaking drugs into your Hershey's bar. There was this fear that would circulate that some scoundrels might lace the Three Musketeers bars with crack weed amphetamine, a chimera cocktail drug of everything naughty. And, you know, you'll have my mom come down shaking me like, Charles, be careful of the candy tonight. Take this testing kit with you. If it turns blue, call your uncle so he can come smoke it. Like, there was just this bit of fear that maybe the candy wasn't safe because of drugs or something that was being put into it. And most people, as they got older, they started to recognize how unlikely that was, because drugs are expensive, and it's not very common for someone to just give out a bunch of drugs for free. That just makes them lose a ton of money. Like, I'm sure there are some cases where it's happened, and I do remember a few very weird ones over the years, but in those cases that I can recall, it was like drug-laced candy that was meant to be sold to buyers, like, inconspicuously. It wasn't meant to just be given out willy-nilly, loosey-goosey on Halloween or something like that. However, what just happened in New Zealand has reopened an old wound here from when I was a kid about, like, being afraid that there might be drugs in candy. Because a New Zealand charity gave out lollipops that were laced with methamphetamine. And not just like little tiddlywinks of meth that were found in the lollipop. We're talking a fucking wumbo-sized amount of meth, potentially lethal. 3 people sought medical attention, and it seems like they're going to be okay, at least as we've been told right now. But potentially hundreds of people were exposed to this from this New Zealand charity giving them away. Now, of course, they didn't do it on purpose. This wasn't by design. They weren't sitting there doing this about their plan coming together to introduce meth to a few hundred people.
Importantly, the mission only accepts commercially manufactured food for inclusion in our food parcels, and the lollies appeared as such when they were donated.
As she just explained, the candy that they received was made to look like a real commercial brand. It wasn't some like knockoff or bootleg that was made in the back of a Ford Fiesta or anything. It was individually wrapped pineapple flavored boiled sweets that were made to look like it came from the Malaysian confectionery brand Rinda. Spoiler alert, they weren't actually pineapple flavored boiled sweets from Rinda. They were donated by a member of the public, and they weren't even candy at all. They were small blocks of meth, each weighing about 3 grams and packing up to 300 doses, which is potentially lethal. The charity explains that they only accept commercially manufactured goods because it's probably dangerous to just be taking in someone's home recipe. You know, maybe it wasn't prepared properly and it makes someone sick, then all of a sudden you've got a big problem on your hand. So they only accept commercially manufactured goods. And in this case, that's what they thought they were getting, but it was actually just a ruse. It was disguised to look like that, but it was actually just meth. Now, when I was initially learning about this story, I started scratching my head wondering, why would they even be taking in individual pieces of candy? Like, that seems kind of dangerous in and of itself, because even if the candy's not laced with lethal amounts of meth, that candy could still be all kinds of fucked. Just imagine some goober's walking down the sidewalk and he sees like a Jolly Rancher tucked away in the dirt next to some crops that he was spraying with pesticides, and he goes, "Oh, Jolly Rancher. Well, I'm not really hungry right now, but I'm sure someone would like to eat this, so I'll go ahead and donate it." Like, that's still probably going to get someone sick, right? Like, it's not like well taken care of food, so taking in like individual pieces of food seems like it'd be suboptimal. However, that's not what the charity does. This candy came to them in a sealed bag that looked like it came directly from the commercial manufacturer. They had no reason to suspect it had been tampered with at all because it was fresh out of the package. It's just not something you'd think of. There was nothing suspicious about it. It was a sealed retail package. So they didn't think to test it or anything.
Early yesterday afternoon, we received an alert of concern by a food parcel recipient who said that they had tried funny tasting lollies and wanted to let us know. They took the lollies still on site to the New Zealand Drug Foundation, whom we have a very good and close working relationship with. Tests confirmed immediately that the lollies contained, and this is very important, potentially lethal levels of methamphetamine.
From the sound of things, this could have been a lot worse if someone concerned after eating it didn't contact them. That person just may have saved lives by informing the charity that this lollipop that they had received, or no, it's not a lollipop. New Zealand slang is always so interesting to me because a sweet they just call a lolly. So it's not a lollipop, it's just like a little piece of candy. So they had this piece of candy, and it was funky, right? You know, there was something fishy there. So they reported it to the charity, who then investigated and concluded that this shit's fucked. We gotta get this off the shelves ASAP.
To the best of information that we have at the moment, that is a group of people that is somewhere between 300 to 400 people that we began contacting last night.
It is a lot of people exposed to potentially lethal amounts of meth. Now, from the reports I've read here, it seems like since it was just chunks of meth, most people wouldn't just muscle through the whole thing. They wouldn't just eat the candy and be like, "Oh, this tastes like shit, but I'm gonna finish it." You know, they wouldn't take it like a challenge run in Elden Ring or something that they just pushed through. So from what I've read of the reports, most people who were exposed to the candy spit it out immediately. But because the dosage of meth was so high, even that like split second it spent in their mouth opened them up to a lot of symptoms. And 3 people had symptoms that were so bad they sought out medical attention, and luckily they've all been discharged now. I imagine there's more of this contaminated candy out there. It's just a matter of tracking it down, which the authorities are doing right now. They're trying to locate all of these pieces of candy. And it's very reminiscent of what happened here in the States with the Tylenol murders, if any of you remember that. I imagine most of you remember that because we still feel the effects of that today. It's the reason why food safety is taken so seriously. So when those douchebags on TikTok used to go around licking ice cream, they got slapped. Like, it's a very serious thing, food contamination. A long time ago, there was contaminated Tylenol that was just cyanide, and some people who took a Tylenol died because it was cyanide. And it led to a huge overhaul of the safety precautions taken around the industry. And I really get a similar vibe to this story here from New Zealand. So this food bank gets this contaminated candy and they start distributing it to a lot of people. That opens up a lot of people to potentially dying from meth. Now in the Tylenol murders case, it was someone, or even a couple of people potentially, that deliberately went around switching Tylenol capsules with cyanide and putting them back on the shelf. They were deliberately trying to kill people with it. And I really think in this case as well, this isn't something that happens by accident. This amount of candy with this amount of meth, this doesn't seem like something that could just go awry, you know, like, oh, oops-a-daisy, I meant to donate the real candy, not my blocks of pure fucking methamphetamine. I had it right next to my blocks of uranium and I was just getting really confused and I just sent the wrong thing. This seems like someone that was trying to hurt people, in my opinion.
In terms of our concern at the moment, we are concerned that there are more of these substances out there. We note that disguising substances as something else to smuggle it into another area is common internationally. So we are not sure at this stage whether that is just contained within the city mission or whether people outside of this have these lollies as well.
That is absolutely something to consider as well, that maybe this wasn't deliberately put out there to hurt people. This could be people that were trying to smuggle drugs into the country and it ended up at the food bank. Because it is common when people are smuggling drugs in that they put them in all kinds of different, you know, packaging and they change the look of them. They get very creative when it comes to smuggling drugs, even outside of just like the prison wallet with them like sticking coke up their butthole and all of that, like deep in their colon. They'll have like drugs that are put into like hairbrushes and made to look like the actual bristles. Like there's all kinds of like really creative things people do when it comes to smuggling drugs. So maybe these candies were just meant to get the meth into the country and was never meant to just be distributed to hundreds of people. Because again, that is like, it's a huge amount of money they lost doing that. But the reason that I feel like it was probably deliberate is because it'd be really hard to somehow get those drugs into the country in this disguise and then forget about it and donate them. That just doesn't, to me, that just doesn't compute. Like, I feel like if they went through the effort of individually wrapping all of this meth to look like this commercially manufactured candy, why would they then donate it? Like, how would they misplace it or get it confused and start donating it? You know what I mean? And right now, authorities are investigating to see whether or not it was donated to the food bank on purpose or by accident. If it was intentionally sent there or if it just wound up there by pure chance, just happenstance, and then ended up getting donated. So maybe my perspective on all of this is just tainted because of the Tylenol murders, where I'm just assuming that anything that's this level of contaminated product is done deliberately to cause chaos and harm.
Police will also be investigating the origin of the methamphetamine, and there is a perception that it has been imported into New Zealand. We are aware of 3 people that have sought medical assistance as a result. None are currently in hospital.
The police are currently trying to figure out the origins of the drugs, as well as recovering all of them that might still be out there. They've apparently recovered 16 pieces so far, and then it's still unclear how many had been accidentally distributed. It could have been 1 packet containing 20 to 30 individually wrapped pieces, or 2 or 3 packets. They don't know yet, but they're trying to get it all taken as quickly as possible so that way more people don't, you know, fall ill to it. If anyone from New Zealand is watching this, I would advise maybe just avoid the pineapple flavored boiled sweets for a little bit, just to err on the side of caution. You know, I'm not an expert or anything, but it might be better to just be safe, you know? You could probably go a little bit without the pineapple flavored boiled sweets to avoid just eating meth, you know? So, yeah, hopefully nobody else, you know, gets this contaminated candy. And, yeah, hopefully everyone who has consumed it doesn't face any, like, long-lasting problems or anything from it. That's about it. See ya. What an incredible week we've had. It has been a non-stop thrill ride of remarkable things going on in the world. Supposed alien corpses being displayed in Mexican Congress, Roblox drinking stupid juice and thinking that it's a good idea to introduce a dating app to Roblox, Unity doing its best to join the dinosaurs by going extinct, the greedy ghouls at the top of Unity's food chain have introduced a new policy that may very well repel more people than Axe body spray and send them going to competitors, which will inevitably lead to a huge problem for Unity. All the shit they're catching is completely deserved. They deserve more shit than a toilet bowl right now. Their decision, the policy, to charge per install is just so mindlessly greedy. Like, it is Mr. Krabs level of greed, and it's not surprising because the Unity CEO is actually a previous EA employee whom was too greedy for even EA. That's how you know the sirens should be blaring. That is a huge red flag. He was too greedy for EA. He, in 2011, entertained the idea that they should charge for reloading your gun in Battlefield because he believed that players in the middle of a firefight wouldn't be price sensitive, so they'd likely just pay for that next, you know, round of ammunition in order to finish off their kill. So he'd literally be charging you per bullet in that fucking game. He also said any developers that make games without monetization in mind are fucking idiots. This guy only cares about money. He literally is Mr. Krabs, but even worse. So it's not surprising to see the direction he's taken Unity, and I am focusing way too much on Unity right now when that's not even what this video is about. The point I was making is every single day this week there has been wild new stories coming out, and today we've got another banger that just dropped. Just now, only a few hours ago, we were blessed with another wild situation developing. A mysterious hole.
It's a huge, mysterious crater that looks out of this world. But is it? The unusual hole on Portmarnock Beach stopped local astrophysics enthusiast Dave Kennedy in his tracks yesterday, and he's certain the small but heavy rock inside it came from up above.
As God is my witness, I swear that is one of the finest holes I have ever seen. There's no explanation I can give you for how this hole could have possibly came to be, which is why it's lucky the astrophysicist enjoyer happened to be on the scene in order to give us a reasonable explanation for what created this hole.
As you can tell by here, there's a scorch mark on this side here, so that would have been at the angle that it came down at. And it is weighty. I'm not sure if it's composition, but we're definitely going to have to find out.
He could very well be holding an entire brick of vibranium right there. Like just an entire fucking block of unobtainium in his hand, and he's a billionaire and we just don't know it yet.
The striking hole soon caught the attention of passers-by, many hoping that what they're witnessing is the aftermath of a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic event.
Dropping the sarcasm for a second, why? It's just a hole. You can make up any story at all to go along with it. I could have also come up with some fanfic too. I could have said this is where the Pacific Rim aliens enter and exit our world. It's actually a portal to hell. Like, I could have come up with any explanation at all. It's just a fucking hole. I just don't even understand how this became news. Like, they're making it sound like this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take a picture of this hole. It's not even that special. It's not even as cool as the holes that are on my body. And who's to say that this wasn't just dug by a human being? You know, this could be something right out of the movie Holes, like with Warden Walker. I'm tired of digging holes, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. I think about that scene a lot. That's probably like one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema. Point is, it's just a fucking hole.
Wow, I mean, look at the size of it.
So we're down here quite a lot, and I've never seen anything like this before, so it's pretty spectacular.
There has been no confirmation that this is the site of a meteor strike, but Dave is optimistic.
I'm just going to rip the band-aid off here before finishing the news segment. This is not the crash site to a meteor. This was dug by a couple of dudes on the beach using children's toys.
Thanks, Bernard. Now, finally for now, a mysterious hole on a beach has caused a stir in North Dublin.
Exactly as any rational person would assume, this hole on the beach was made by normal human beachgoers. It's not some kind of cosmic anomaly that just happened to unfold here. But I just love that for some reason Dave was walking along the beach, saw this, and his jaw just hit the fucking floor. So then he just let Hulkmania run wild in his brain, and he crafted this entire story about how it was clearly the crash site to a meteorite. This is just a crater formed from a super duper space rock that he now has. It's the Tesseract. He's got the fucking Allspark in his hand now from space, and he's got to go get it analyzed. It's just perfectly representative of the current climate of the world, where no matter how simple something is, people reach for the deepest, most outrageous explanation for it. This guy saw a hole and crafted an entire science fiction novel out of it. And you see that all the time online, where people will just make up shit, just pull everything out of their ass based on nothing. Based on literally nothing. Nothing grounded in reality, and they just make up the most nonsensical garbage. And that's exactly what happened here. But usually when it comes to this phenomenon of dabbling in fantasy and passing it off as real, like 5G's destroying human DNA and it's a beacon to summon the reptilians, they're rising up against us thanks to fucking 5G, usually the person spouting that is someone that is, you know, addicted to ketamine, their mind's rotting away, and they're not really in the best state. But in this case, the guy is apparently an astrophysics enthusiast, that's what they refer to him as, so it makes no sense why he wouldn't just think rationally about a fucking hole on the beach.
And only about a month ago I was watching a documentary from NASA on exactly what you're looking at behind you, so when I looked at it and saw how uniform it is, and the blast crater, I knew immediately that I was looking at it as an impact site.
Dave has spent the day reaching out to astronomy experts to see if they can help him solve the mystery of the crater on the beach.
Hey Dave, I'm not an astronomy expert, but I'll help you solve that mystery on the beach. It was made by two guys and a Fisher-Price plastic shovel. So, we can put that one to bed now. It is not an impact site.
The next step is to get this rock tested, see what it's made of, and see if this can be confirmed as a meteor strike in Dublin.
Imagine the incredible twist of this story if Dave gets that analyzed and it turns out it is a real, authentic meteorite, and it just turns out through the most astronomically unlikely series of events that that hole that these dudes dug was also the impact site to that meteorite. So they dug this hole and it acted like a target for that meteorite in space to come hit it, and Dave just finds it. That would be crazy. That would be unbelievably awesome. I'm rooting for you, Dave. I do hope it's a meteorite.
Of a meteor strike, but footage emerged last night of two men digging a hole on Portmarnock Beach. Local astrophysics buff David Kennedy was startled by the discovery and thought a rock he found in the hole might have come from the skies above. Today he says he's disappointed, but he's still getting the rock analysed in the hopes that it wasn't a completely fruitless discovery.
After so many people clowned on them once it was revealed where this hole actually came from, they owned up to it. They said where the hole actually came from, much to the dismay of the astrophysics enthusiast. He says he's still going to get the rock analyzed. I imagine the findings from that are going to be disappointing, to say the least. But hey, who knows? Maybe it really is a super rare space rock. I'm hoping that it is, because this is understandably pretty embarrassing for him. And he needs a W here, so fingers crossed he actually did stumble upon a really rare rock, and it's worth a lot of money here. And yeah, that's really about it. See ya. I just learned about something extraordinary. A situation from 1997 that somehow I was unaware of. And I look back at my life of 5 hours ago in disgust that I could be so ignorant to not know about this. I watched a video covering this and then watched the raw footage of the situation, and I'm confident this is footage I will never forget. The Men in Black couldn't neuralize this information out of my brain. A YouTuber named Sir W made a video about a guy wielding a sword holding off 50 cops, and on stream the other night, chat told me about it, and it piqued my interest, but I didn't watch it until today. And since finishing that video, I've embarked on a personal quest to learn everything there is to know about the Seattle samurai, Tony Allison. Unfortunately, all the information has been lost to time, or perhaps it's a little more dubious than that, maybe a government cover-up to keep it under wraps because he was too powerful with the katana. I don't really know, but unfortunately, I don't have many results to showcase for my hours worth of trying to deep dive. But I still wanted to talk about this story and show you Sir W's video, as well as the raw footage of the police standoff with the Seattle samurai.
With nothing but sunglasses and a samurai sword to his name, this man held off an army of police officers for 11 hours and just stood there. His name is Tony Allison, but on this day, he insisted that everybody, including the police, refer to him as Apollo, and it all started with him doing nothing. Yeah.
April 3rd, 1997, a date that Seattle still bears the scars from. A date that is etched into the tablets of time, never to be forgotten. Except by pretty much everybody, it seems. Sir W, the YouTuber here, even mentions how surprised he was that no one else had covered this story, and I am equally as surprised now after having learned it. It is outrageous. So, it was just a normal peaceful afternoon in Seattle, and then we witnessed the birth of the last true samurai, Tony Allison, who was walking around brandishing his trusty blade, and some of the civilians were a bit disturbed by it, weirded out. You know, why is he walking around with a sword? Eventually an off-duty officer followed him around because he found it to be odd as well.
Now, Apollo was suspicious of this guy following him, and rightfully so. I would be as well. So he took what the cop describes as a defensive stance with his sword at the ready, which is understandable in a defense situation like this one. But sadly, that was enough for the off-duty cop to call his buddies, and they would remain in that same location for the next 11 hours.
As quite a few of the YouTube comments point out, this entire situation is the very definition of he's just standing there menacingly. At no point does Apollo ever use his blade, he doesn't swing it, he doesn't get aggressive or show any signs of trying to draw blood, he's not trying to carve flesh from bone or anything. He's keeping his Bushido arts under wrap. He doesn't unleash his Bankai or anything. He just sits there wielding the blade for 11 fucking hours, and he is striking some mean power stances. Like, he is looking like an anime character. It looks like a video game idle animation from a lot of the footage I've seen here for 11 hours as like 50 officers surround him and try and talk with him. Now, his name is Tony Allison, but he wanted to be called Apollo. He didn't really communicate with the authorities aside from a couple of like sentences that he said that were apparently pretty cryptic, but one of the things that he requested was that they refer to him as Apollo, which is a pretty badass name. Almost as badass as Gamer Sups, the best beverage ever invented. We all know this. Everyone in the world knows Gamer Sups is the best fluid that has ever graced this planet. And I'm happy to announce their newest product, Gamer Soups, which is just good ramen. For the last month or so, all 8 of us at the warehouse have eaten this for breakfast and lunch pretty much every day, so I can confirm that full-grown adults can survive on a diet consisting solely of Gamer Soups. It's really just that simple, no misleading marketing mumbo-jumbo about this being some super healthy alternative, turbo food that's going to be better for your body than broccoli or anything. It's just good fucking ramen. So Gamer Soups is live right now. I'll put a link to everything in the description. You can follow their Twitter, follow their Instagram, or get yourself some Gamer Soup of your own. Big thanks to them for sponsoring.
Seattle, Washington. An explosive standoff begins when a man brandishes a samurai sword on a downtown sidewalk. A friend of the man confirms authorities' worst fears.
Yeah, he knows how to use the sword.
Everyone's worst nightmare has just come true. Just like Roronoa Zoro, it turns out Tony Allison is aiming to be the best swordsman in the world, I guess. I don't know, they said that this guy is a friend of Tony's and that apparently he knows how to use the blade. I don't know if he's necessarily an expert or anything on the matter, or if Tony, like, does, you know, performances with the sword or something. I don't know how he would know. Like, I feel like if you're studying the blade, you're not exactly showcasing your abilities to others. You want to keep it a secret in case shit gets hairy, right? You don't want to reveal your techniques to potential opponents. So I feel like when he was interviewed and asked, does he know how to use the sword? He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm sure he does, probably. And to be fair, I feel like if you have a sword, it's kind of intuitive. You swing it a lot, and maybe you thrust and stab it a bit.
Everybody on the... Police quickly cordon off the block.
Everybody on the curb. Over there.
A SWAT team arrives and surrounds the man. They begin talking to the suspect, trying to persuade him to drop his weapon.
They got the whole force out here like they're trying to apprehend Cobra Commander. I'm assuming there was no other crime going on in Seattle because they got the entire department to come down here for a fucking field trip. Maybe crime stood still, like, for this entire day just watching the Seattle Samurais standoff. I don't really know. But it's a huge response. And they're trying to talk to him, but like I said, he wasn't in a very talkative mood, aside from letting them know that he wants to be called Apollo. Now, according to Sir W's video, they tried to bribe him. I'll go ahead and play this section for you.
Got there, apparently they tried to bribe the samurai sword out of his hand with a glorious sum of $50. I want you to take one look at this guy and guess how he responded. However, the police did not give up here. Now, they went back to the drawing board and came up with another offer. Now, I can't make this. Offered him a Big Mac. No, I'm serious. This is real. They offered him McDonald's. This is targeted. Then they assumed since he was unmoved by this, he must have a mental health history. So they tried triggering schizophrenic urges. Of course, he was unmoved by these childish tricks and continued to stand his ground. So
now, from all the research I've done, and keep in mind, there's only so much available. I guess a lot of information may have been lost in the Library of Alexandria on this case. God only knows where all of this has vanished. I feel like this is something that media would have loved to do a little more digging on, but perhaps not. From everything I was able to cobble together, I can find no official sources from like the old newspapers or old articles written about it that confirm whether or not they tried to bribe him with $50 and a Big Mac. Sir W mentioned two of his main sources, and this information appears on this one, where it says that they offered him $50 for his sword, he ignored their bribe, they tempted him with a Big Mac, he held fast. But this site was making a joke out of the situation, like this post is clearly just playing around with it. It's not like 100% serious, though the situation is real. This isn't just like a factual, play-by-play of what was really going on, so I feel like there's potential that this was just slid in here as a joke. Just a little bit of baloney, some fucking dirty barnacles to spice it up and make it a little wackier and not real, because this appears nowhere else. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, it's potential that they did try that. Just to me, it sounds a little far-fetched and unbelievable. I just can't imagine one of them going on the horn being like, "Hey, bud, drop the sword and we'll give you $50 and this Big Mac that Bill was going to give to his kids after the shift today." Like, it just doesn't seem like something they'd really try. But who knows? Again, this whole thing is already ridiculous, so it's possible.
He also said that he was possessed by demons and wanted to kill them.
He talked about Satan. He talked about his brothers in Russia and China, but he never really engaged the negotiator.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here. It turns out that Tony Allison suffered from schizophrenia and manic depression and had previously spent 10 years in a mental hospital, and even had a previous criminal charge of second-degree assault with intent to rape. So he's not exactly in his right mind, as you might imagine based on what you're seeing here.
But the suspect is unresponsive.
Never once did this individual talk to us. On occasion, he would shout out some things about Apollo and Satan and things like that, but we never were able to establish any sort of a conversation with him at all.
As Commissioner Gordon states there, they couldn't really communicate with him aside from, again, the mentions of Apollo, and he also talked about his brothers at some point, as well as, like, Satan. So it was very much a mental health crisis moment, which is why I think this lasted so long, because authorities really didn't know how to handle something like this, especially back then. I feel like they were even more in the dark on what to do in a situation like this. So they spent a long time in just a complete standstill for 11 hours, trying to talk to him, trying to get him to drop the sword and reason with him, to no avail. So then they started to brainstorm some more aggressive ideas.
They load their guns with special bean bags that strike with the same impact as a heavyweight boxer's punch. They're designed to halt, but not harm suspects. Unable to convince him to stop, police fire the beanbags. The suspect retreats, but he endures round after round and shows no sign of surrender.
Have you ever seen anyone this resilient?
An immovable force. What a titan. I almost feel bad for the beanbags that struck his body. They probably just fucking exploded on impact, just vaporized. I tell you, the katana he's wielding is not the only thing made out of steel there. His body is also made out of steel, forged just as powerfully as that blade he uses. But he did retreat. He didn't necessarily like getting hit with the beanbags.
As night falls, the man still refuses to relinquish his razor-sharp sword. 8 hours have passed, and police must try to disarm him another way. But the man shakes off the tear gas with almost superhuman strength, never releasing his weapon.
They tried to tear gas him, which he just shook off with ease. He looks mildly uncomfortable with the tear gas. It actually is like borderline superhuman.
The SWAT team has one final option. Use fire hoses to remove his sword. In a highly orchestrated maneuver, police pin the suspect down with a ladder, pole, and riot shield.
And that's how the last samurai was defeated. An 11-hour stand. As the YouTube comments also pointed out, very few samurai throughout history can ever claim that they held off an army for 11 hours alone on the battlefield. So a very impressive feat. The fire hoses knocked him down, and then they said that they did a textbook maneuver, claiming that what they did next was by the books, like really, you know, standard procedure pretty much, where they pinned him with a ladder and a pole and a riot shield. To me, that doesn't really seem like something they practice. That's probably not in any SWAT training textbooks, I would imagine. Of course, I'm not SWAT trained, but that just seemed like they started to improvise. Like when he fell, they're like, all right, what do we got? What do we got? Give me that ladder, grab that broomstick, and then your riot shield, just sit on top of him. All right, go. And then they did, and it happened to work. So after this, he was once again put in another hospital, from what I've read, and he hasn't been seen since. Except Sir W actually did a bit of super sleuthing of his own and may have found evidence that the Seattle Samurai is still out there.
2021, a dad was with his son at Bitter Lake Playfield, and while passing by a homeless encampment, spotted this distinct shiny object sticking out of the debris. Now, the location of this park happens to be about 50 miles away from Western State Hospital, or a mere 8.2 miles away from where this whole thing began.
That's one of those stunning moments in a movie where the audience just goes, like a huge gasp. What a great find from Sir W there, because that does look like the same blade that he was wielding, and it's pretty close to where this standoff happened. And it's also such a cinematic conclusion, it actually looks like the end to a Dark Souls game. After you beat the final boss and the final cutscene's playing, and then it's just like your +10 moon veil stuck into the ground there. Like, that's what that whole scene played out like. Now, of course, it's not really a happy ending, because it seems, if this really is him, that he is still homeless and must not have gotten the help that he needed, which is extremely sad. Really, the whole situation is very sad, but it's one of those odd things that I can't believe actually happened, and even more peculiar is that nobody has ever really talked about it. So yeah, big thanks to Sir W for shining a light on this story. It was a pretty fascinating one. That's about it. See ya. Watch A1. This?
It doesn't matter.
Sounds like he's kind of about to break out into Linkin Park's In the End.
You know it matters. You know it matters.
This video said 1 minute and 38 seconds, but I feel like it was actually closer to 15 minutes. Holy shit. Not that it matters, but, you know. My man. Oh, he's really attacking it. Oh, baby! Oh! No, don't give up. What are you doing?
You're right at the finish line. Take it home. Take it home. Woo! There it is. Yeah. Oh, baby. Jesus, he's really blasting it. How? God, some people are just born with too much power. You've done it again, Ron. Oh my God. This man's actually gonna summon a tornado. Oh God, Ron! Oh, I can't watch this. Ah! This man just disproved religion. Jesus Christ, how is he doing this? Whoa, wow. Wow. Jesus. Ron, please. Whoa! Good Lord. I think he's causing an earthquake. All the fish just start like flopping out of the water, dead. Oh, is that it? That's pretty wild. Have you ever watched Thrash and Trash Productions, Tiana?
No.
Oh, you're in for a treat. This is an automated side loader. Check this out. That's a flex arm.
This is why you were saying the other day?
Yeah. I've been pointing out garbage trucks when I see them in the wild. I've fully assimilated into the culture. I've become a big garbage truck guy. Yeah, I love the automated side loader though, and when they have a flex arm, it's just such a treat. This is the kind of model we saw. This is a wild one.
This is an older version of it though.
Yeah, we saw a more modern version.
No. The one that we saw had a front loader and a side loader.
Yeah, well that's what I was saying. It had the little flex arm. Yeah, it was cool. It was one hell of a truck. Oh, my man! He's stepping on landmines. Oh shit! Fuck yeah! It's like a Power Rangers. That's fucking awesome. He takes it off and he's just covered in blood. Didn't expect that. Well, hey, as advertised, that was a Russian combat tested suit. Had no problem walking through that. Big machines. Oh yeah.
Hello.
Oh fuck yeah.
Of heavy equipment.
That's really cool.
Today we have the largest excavators, cranes.
Now we're fucking cooking. Show me those big machines.
Is intended for building bridges which consist of many spans. This 328 feet monster can independently move, transport,
That's fucking awesome.
segments of the bridge canvas to pre-installed supports. Thanks to this machine, Monster Truck has doggish appetite. In a minute, there is an expenditure of 6.5 liters of diesel fuel.
Oh, nice. Oh, huge. This one truck is responsible for at least like 2% of the total carbon footprint of the entire species. Team Healy's National Pro. This? Oh, damn! Shit! What a fucking intro! You already liked it. Oh, I did! I might have liked this when I was a kid, actually. Oh wait, no, this account's not that old. Well, I wonder when did I like it? Oh god, Dimitri's back on the block. Jesus Christ, hide your girlfriend. Damn, Dimitri has been training. Let's go, Dimitri! Yeah! That's easy, Dimitri. This is a free world record. Come on, baby boy.
Stop.
Yeah! Woo! Dimitri! Dimitri, you're the fucking man! Yeah! Nobody can balance ice cream like Dimitri. I've always said that. Look at that technique! I don't know what flavor was in the middle there that looked like vomit, but I think that really held it all together. That was packed wonderfully. Like little diarrhea flavor, whatever that brown one is. Largest collection of pizza boxes? What?
To buy my own food for the first time. I mean, it was pizza. I think even more than just being a food, it was symbolic for something greater.
No, it's just food. I mean, it's just pizza. What are you talking about? The only thing it's symbolic of is like calories, I guess.
All right, I'll show you some of my pizza boxes from 1991. It's a limited edition.
That's
Pizza Hut.
What?
Rocketeer marketing box.
1991? I was expecting like 1919.
These are 2 pizza box. It's the best phone call ever. He'd call them up and he'd say, I want to send you free pizza. I mean, the sound of their voice on the other end of the line is amazing.
They just always hang up on him. What do you mean free pizza? That's impossible. Wow, this guy's a machine. Wait a minute, this technique is really good. Oh, come on, baby. Push through, push through. We got this. Oh, he collateraled that one. Is he making those noises? Or is that the space-time continuum rupturing? Nice! I think he won. That was incredible technique. Oh, yeah. If you're not bleeding for your walnut crushing sport, you're not crushing walnuts right. If you don't walk away with this with a concussion, you just didn't compete.
50.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Muhammad popped off. He put his whole soul into it. Man, that guy on the right gave himself, like, actual brain damage for nothing. Doesn't even get a world record out of it.
3, 2, 1, start!
In 2019,
yeah, there we go. Now we're back in it.
Head smashing record. This time for the most yardsticks broken with the head in 1 minute.
Man, this guy is just a fucking machine. That's the Muhammad I know. I hope the next record he sets is most endangered animals headbutted. TikToks that will leave you speechless. Is that a fact? Those aren't her real eyelashes. Maybe they are. That's pretty cool. Not speechless, but that's cool. Whoa! He turned himself into an uncircumcised penis. Holy shit. Oh, it's a basketball robot. I thought it was a man in a costume. I was gonna say, what's so impressive? I can cosplay and shoot. She might just do it. She's got a lot of time to spare. Last one. Come on, baby. Fight through the pain. This is what it means to be a world record holder.
Yep.
30 seconds. Oh, this is free. This is free. Oh, she's getting every little bit of sugar too. That's huge. She licked her lips. DQ, DQ, DQ. Start over. Get out. Fucking ruined. Licked her lips. Damn! This guy is the master! Focus, focus. Come on, baby. Get that shit in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, boy, don't tease me. Jesus. Come on, your father's about to be a hero! Stack one more fucking ball! Don't give up! This is dangerous. This is dangerous. What is he doing? Oh, he's oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. He was not satisfied with that stack.
It sounds like Overwatch music. A story that's been weighing on my mind ever since. I can't stop thinking about it just because of how ridiculous it is, so I want to share it with all of you. It was a road rage incident in New Zealand, and at this point in my life, I feel like New Zealand is a second home to me because Troy, the other half of the Gentlemen, our music project, lives there. He is a born and raised Kiwi, and I keep up with a lot of New Zealand news, so when I see stories like this, there's like a sense of like disappointment and dread, like, come on, New Zealand, you're better than this. But anyway, in this road rage incident, the driver of a vehicle got very upset at a dog walker, so much so that he grabbed a sword from his car and started trying to carve him up with it, basically. He hit him with like a Mortal Kombat 1 Kinshi fatality. He left him with nearly fatal injuries. It was a miracle that the victim survived thanks to timely intervention from his son. And it's worth noting that the, last samurai here did this with his wife and child in the vehicle, nearly murdered a man in front of them over absolutely nothing. But what makes this story stand out as an affront to God is the fact that the judge ruled that the punishment for the attacker would be 10 months of home detention and 100 hours of community service. He literally said, "Go home, Buster. That's it." No, it's a complete miscarriage of justice here. He gets grounded after nearly murdering a man with a fucking sword. Like, he's been studying the blade, unleashes his forbidden jutsu here, like Demon Slayer shit. He gets out his degenerate breathing techniques, nearly kills this guy in cold blood, and the judge says, "You're grounded." That's crazy to me. He got the same punishment a high school student would if his parents caught him with weed. Like, it blows my mind that he can almost murder somebody with a fucking sword in an act that the judge fully recognizes was madness, cowardly, nearly fatal, and recognizes the severity of it, and then still says, "Just go home." I don't know. The whole thing is baffling, so I just want to share this story with all of you because it is a weird one. You read about the Tesla driver who sliced another driver with a samurai sword in road rage in New Zealand. Man got him with the Bushido arts. Jesus Christ. No, I did not see that. Samurai sword road rage. Man gets home detention for callous and cowardly attack on dog walker. A motorist who... Here, I'll just pull it up on stream. This sounds crazy. A motorist who took a samurai sword to a dog walker in an Auckland road rage incident has been sentenced to home detention. It's not like punishment. Go home. A man was left with chunks of flesh and bone carved out of him after a brutal attack where a driver got out of his car and attacked him with a sword, leaving the pedestrian bleeding in a ditch. The victim, who was walking his dog, survived the attack thanks to his son, who found him and gave him first aid. But the seriousness of the injuries sustained by the victim have left the tradie with lifelong injuries and unable to work. Much to the dismay of the victim's family, Judge Mina Warpuri on Tuesday announced Darren Clark to 10 months home detention, 100 hours of community work, and to pay $5,000 after pleading guilty to causing grievous bodily harm with intent to injure. That's not justice. That's a joke. What in the world? Ruin this guy's life with a samurai sword, and he gets 100 hours of community service and 10 months at home. That's crazy. That's actually insano-style nonsense. Judge Warpuri said the attack was both premeditated and impulsive, but that injuries weren't foreseeable as he had struck him with the scabbard on the blade. Like, just look at what he's saying. In handing down his sentence, Judge Warpuri praised the actions of the victim's son. Without his timely intervention, it is highly likely your victim would have succumbed to blood loss and died from injuries, and yet the person who perpetrated the attack only gets house arrest for 10 months? I want to go over the severity of the attack here, because it's brutal. So let's go ahead and read about exactly what happened and what the effects were, because the victim's life has forever changed. He can now no longer even do the job that he was doing prior to the attack. The victim was 55 at the time of the attack, and he spotted Clark's Tesla approaching. He stood in the middle lane, motioning for the vehicle to slow down, and tapped the Tesla's roof with his palm as Clark steered the vehicle around him. Clark had his wife and young children with him in the car. He stopped the vehicle, grabbed the sheathed samurai sword, which he claimed to keep in the vehicle for protection, which is a wild thing for protection. Usually it's like a baseball bat or something. This man, for some reason, must have watched one anime and said, that's better than a baseball bat, and then made the switch. But anyway, he gets his sword, he starts swinging the weapon in a downward directional angle, which he described to police as being 50% force. I swear to God, this guy is actually just a weeb. Now he's just making up things. I was only using 50% of my power. He's lucky I didn't go Ultra Instinct plus Ultra on his ass. But it was enough to shatter the sheath on impact and inflict major damage as it sliced through the victim's upper body. He suffered a deep laceration to his neck down to the bone without hitting the spinal cord. The complainant's jaw was broken and his facial muscles and nerves were severed. The sword also cleaved a large chunk of flesh and bone from his left shoulder, which required emergency surgery and skin grafts, and also severed tendons in his left hand. The victim then fell into the ditch on the side of the road and Clark drove away. He tried to call for help but was unable to unlock his phone because of all the blood. He was found minutes later by his son who was driving home. And then it talks about the lasting effects. He still suffers facial drooping, speech impediment, ringing in his ears, and can't fully lift his arm because of the severed tendons, which means he can no longer work the profession he dedicated his adult life to. And that profession was an electrician from what I've read. So his life has forever changed as a result of this. And the attacker, his life was basically a vacation. He just stays at home for 10 months. Like, that's something people do on purpose. Like, for fun. Like, that's just, I don't know, that blows my mind. So apparently the reason they were so light on the sentencing here is because the attacker argued he didn't know that the scabbard broke, and when his wife told him that she had seen a bunch of blood, he panicked, dropped his family off, who was crying and screaming because the young children in his car just witnessed their father go fucking psycho mode. So he claims he dropped them off after realizing the scabbard had broken. He went back to look for the victim, but paramedics and everyone had already shown up, and then he turned himself in. So they're saying that he's expressing deep remorse for what he's done here, and that's why it's so light on sentencing, but I don't think that changes anything. If this guy is fully capable of doing something like this, he's not safe to be around. He's not safe to be in the public like this. For something so small, like having the roof of your Tesla tapped, to nearly kill a man over it is ridiculous. Like, I understand the sword was sheathed at the time, but it doesn't take a lot to break that, clearly. And even still, even if it's sheathed, hitting someone with a blunt object, like a sword sheath, is also enough to kill someone as well. But man, they really put a lot of stock into apologies in New Zealand court, it seems, because that was cited here that he wrote like a letter of apology, and man, that must have been the most beautifully written letter of all time, up there with some of Shakespeare's best work, in order to get out of a serious sentence for nearly murdering someone. But yeah, I've been thinking about this story a lot just because I still can't fully process why the sentencing would be so light on something so severe and so mad and brutal. But yeah, I just wanted to share this story with all of you because I've thought about it a lot recently, and that's really about it. So yeah. I'm sure all of you know this about me by now, but I love cryptids. I am such a huge cryptid enthusiast. You would catch me at like a Bigfoot convention if they were hosted anywhere close to Tampa. I love it. If you don't know what cryptids are, I'll just briefly summarize it. It's basically these very peculiar creatures that are claimed to exist, but no concrete proof has ever confirmed their existence. So things like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, Yeti, Chupacabra, Goatman, Mothman, Batman, you know, things like that. And there's entire communities dedicated to hunting them down and proving that they're real, and they come up with their own fun technology for it, like, you know, a Sasquatch reader, where it'll be like a codename Kids Next Door device. Basically, it's like a fucking toaster with like an antenna sticking off of it that's supposed to pick up on, you know, electromagnetic waves that Bigfoot disperses out or whatever. It's just really fun. I've never seen real evidence that proves the existence of any of these cryptids, but I am always glued to any and all new updates around it. And today we were blessed with a big one for the biggest cryptid, Bigfoot.
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down.
Where at?
Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
that little bastard thought he could go for a leisurely picnic one afternoon and we wouldn't notice? Hooey! Thanks to technology advancing as far as it has, we were able to capture this moment in glorious 4K. We have technology on us at all times with our phones that's able to record these situations and give proof to the claims that have existed for decades now. We caught this fuzzy fuck face red-handed. He went out there, he squatted down, maybe taking a shit, maybe getting ready to eat. We're not entirely sure yet, but one thing's for sure. This lit the Bigfoot community ablaze. Now, obviously, the cryptid community is no stranger to hoaxes. There's been many frauds out there that have faked footage and sightings and evidence and all of that. But this one, many are saying, is legitimate. So I'll give you a little backstory on it in just a moment, but I do want to say, there are different levels of cryptid enthusiasts. There's the ones that will believe anything, even just like a random post on, you know, GameSpot.com forums or something from like a completely anonymous user that says, the chupacabra just broke into my house and sucked grandpappy's cock. Like, I can't believe what I just witnessed with that one. And they'll be like, I knew the chupacabra was out there, and apparently it's a sex offender. They'll just take it at face value. Like, I bet I could reach out here and be like, I got your nose, and they'd freak out like, oh shit, my nose. But that's not the whole community. There's a lot of people that enjoy cryptids that understand that there is a different level of evidence required to prove the existence of the creatures. And in this case, there is a lot of them that are saying, this is pretty compelling. So let's go over the story. So a woman named Shannon, along with her husband, were on a train in Colorado, and they noticed something odd out in the distance. There was this goofy-looking creature going for a little stroll, and her, as well as a few other passengers at the back of the locomotive, took notice, took pictures, took the video, and according to Shannon, they had been naysayers when it comes to Bigfoot, but seeing was believing. Now, even in the zoomed-in photo, it's actually kind of hard to make out the full creature here. It looks like he's entered stealth mode. So perhaps Sasquatch are born with some innate ability to camouflage themselves here, and that's how they've been able to elude us for so long, those crafty little devils. And she states that it didn't cause a big panic or a big uproar on the train, and that if the passengers at the back hadn't noticed it, it would have gone completely under the radar and no one would have ever seen it. So they believe it's a legitimate sighting because it seems like a random chance encounter that they, you know, just happened to see it. It wasn't like a Jack Link's commercial that they stumbled upon. It was nothing like that. It really, to them, felt like they just witnessed a miracle here with a Sasquatch walk. So, now it's time for an expert to weigh in. Me. What do I think about all this? I think this is a bunch of baloney. I really think what most likely happened here is some jokester, a practical prankster, put on a Bigfoot costume and just walked out there hoping that people on the train would see him and it'd lead to a big viral video and it'd just lead to headlines basically. For no other reason than just to have a little fun. It's not exactly the hardest thing in the world to get a Bigfoot costume and just walk out here into this field. Like, I don't think it's so disconnected from civilization that it wouldn't happen. And even if it is actually pretty far away, there are no limits to the lengths people will go to for a joke, especially something like this. And everything here just really strikes all the boxes of being suspiciously set up. Not by the people on the train. I really think everyone on the train was in no way, shape, or form involved in it as like some kind of big plan. It's just this guy and maybe a couple friends decided to do this because it'd be fun. And that's it. I really don't think this is real proof of Bigfoot. I just don't. Would love to be proven wrong. Maybe we get some master Sasquatch super soldier out there that's able to use this video, get the exact longitude, latitude, go to the coordinates and actually wrangle Bigfoot together and put him in front of, you know, the world and say, look, it's real. That'd be great. But I'm not expecting that to happen. I really don't think this is an actual Bigfoot. But that doesn't stop it from still being fun. Like I said, I love cryptids. I love cryptids so much that I'm actually starting a show about cryptids with Jackson and Windigoon. This is going to be a little shameless plug. It's called The Red Thread, and it's going to be posted on the official YT channel. That's the new channel for the official podcast and all of the other shows that we do there. So the red thread will be posted on there, and it's all about cryptids, baby, because all three of us love it. So just a quick, brief little plug for that. It's coming up pretty soon. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Unfortunately, I don't think this is real evidence of an actual Bigfoot. But that doesn't take away the fun of it. I always love to see some new cryptid content, and that's really about it. See ya. Good afternoon, class. It's me again, Professor Wetty and Ready. So please put away your fleshlights and take out your notebooks, because it's time for another lesson. Today's topic: is monosodium glutamate the worst thing human beings have ever created, 10 times worse than the invention of the atomic bomb? Was the Manhattan Project actually a government cover-up to hide the truth from the people? That the government was cooking up monosodium glutamate in those laboratories? So let's just get right into this shit. MSG, I'm sure you've heard of it, monosodium glutamate. It's become the boogeyman of the food industry. If you've ever looked at a food package, even glanced at it, there's a good chance you've seen MSG free on it. For some reason, the general population believes that you need to stay far, far away from MSG. It's the bully on the food playground that's gonna kick sand in your ice cream cone. It's gonna give you headaches, heartburn, cancer. It's gonna throw you in prison. It's gonna fuck you up for the long term if you eat even one thing with even the littlest trace amount of MSG in it. So food companies have come to understand that people will not buy products with MSG in it because of this fear of it. So what they do is they say, we've taken the MSG out, this is an MSG free product, but now I'm going to throw this cold water on you and hit that tip of your penis with this lightning bolt of facts. The MSG is still in those products, they just hide it in other ingredients. So on the package you'll see MSG free on it, but if you turn it over and look at the ingredients and see tomato powder or yeast extract, that's MSG. They're hiding MSG in those ingredients, and that's totally legal, that's totally by the books. Now, if you've already thrown up because you've ingested MSG and now you're panicking, don't, because the fear of MSG is pretty unfounded, and I want to talk about it. So let's start with the basics. Monosodium glutamate was created in 1908. Why did it make its way into food? It wasn't an accident. It's not just because they wanted to make it unhealthy or something like that. A lot of people seem to believe that a lot of the ingredients in modern food are useless and they serve no purpose other than making them unhealthy. But that's bullshit. Everything in there has a purpose. It's not like they're just mindlessly tossing shit in there for no reason. Like, oh hey Gary, why don't you take that handful of mulch and just toss it into the Lay's formula? Righto, Frank, would you like this Windex bottle in there as well? Why not? Everything in the modern food has a purpose. Monosodium glutamate has a purpose. Its purpose is to enhance flavor, mainly umami, which is one of the 5 basic tastes. Umami is savory. So now you know why it's used, but what is MSG? Well, its name implies it's the product of sodium and glutamate. What is glutamate? Glutamate's a non-essential amino acid, and that's found in fucking everything. You can't go outside without basically breathing glutamate. It's in all your foods, 100% in all of them. MSG is made from the fermentation of starches, and speaking chemically, there's no difference between the glutamate in MSG and the glutamate in just every other food. Only difference being MSG is a little bit easier for your body to access. Now let's get to why everyone seems to think MSG is the worst thing in the world for your body and that you're better off just popping cyanide capsules as opposed to having any amount of MSG in your body. It all stems from the fact that glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter, meaning it excites nerve cells, and that MSG leads to an excessive amount of glutamate in the brain, which can cause damage. Thus, it was given the name an excitotoxin. Then in 1969, there was a study conducted to show that MSG was harmful by injecting MSG into newborn mice, and it showed neurological effects that were harmful, as you would expect from fucking injecting MSG like a heroin addict. In 1996, there was a book called Excitotoxins: The Taste That Kills, published by Dr. Russell Blaylock, and in this book he basically just says that an excessive amount of glutamate can destroy nerve cells, and not just in your brain, just in general. And that's a true statement, yeah. But that's kind of fucking obvious, because if you megadose on anything, it can cause harmful effects. You can fucking die from drinking too much water, so obviously megadosing on something is going to cause some harmful effects. However, dietary MSG, the MSG that you ingest through eating shit with MSG in it, has little to no effect on the human brain because it can't cross the blood barrier in large amounts. So then why, when you tell someone MSG isn't bad, that they damn near slap you in the face because they have had a personal experience with MSG where their entire family was eradicated due to that MSG menace? Well, actually, that's kind of true. It didn't kill your family or anything. It didn't do anything super harmful, but it is true you can have a sensitivity to MSG. There's studies that have confirmed that some people just have an inclination to have some negative effects to it. Nothing too severe, just a bit of nausea and headaches and some flushing of the face, but enough to where you'd be like, alright MSG, that, you know, fuck you. Another thing that's often associated with MSG is obesity. If you even touch MSG, you're gonna gain 5 pounds immediately. And really, there's just no decisive conclusion on this one, because some studies say that it fills you up faster, thus you're not going to eat as much. Others say the exact opposite, so it's really split. However, if you want my opinion on it based on the research I've read, I think it does increase the likelihood of gaining weight because the foods with MSG are typically the junky foods that you're going to have a hard time putting down. Thus you're going to eat more of, thus you're going to gain weight. However, one thing's for sure, MSG itself doesn't put pounds on your body. It just makes things taste better. Now just to wrap it all up, MSG is not fucking bad for you. The fear of MSG is completely irrational and based on pretty much nothing in my opinion. For some reason it's just become the accepted norm in our society where if you don't recognize what's on the ingredients label that it's inherently bad for you. Oh, green grass is in this bag of seaweed. Okay, I've seen green grass. This must be healthy and natural. Oh my god, what the fuck is this monosodium glutamate? Jesus Christ, it's the root of all my problems. All of a sudden you get fired from your job and you go outside screaming, God damn you MSG, as you shake your fist into the air. It's not inherently bad just because you don't understand it, so I hope I've helped you understand it a bit better. All of this being said, I would say avoid MSG. Not because MSG is bad, but just because the food it's found in is bad for you food. And even if you do swear off of MSG, but you're still going to eat like some shitty junk food, just know you're still ingesting MSG. It's just not labeled as MSG. I'm not trying to send you to bed with nightmares of the monosodium glutamate menace or anything, I'm just letting you know. Again, a massive thanks to Xeno for this animation. The dude is an unmatchable mountain of masculinity, so go check out Xeno's channel, subscribe to Xeno, all that good shit, because the man truly deserves it. He's mastered the art of animation. He had to turn down Pixar 100 times because I wouldn't stop begging for him to be on board, but you know what he said? He said, no, I'm too good for Pixar. And he is. He's actually got animating down to a science, so definitely go check him out. See ya.
Right now, we are living in the golden age of information. The collective knowledge of all of humanity is right at your fingertips on the World Wide Web, the magical cyberspace. And actually, it's become somewhat of an overload of information because you can always find evidence to support any belief you want to have. No matter how unhinged or how unrealistic it is, you can find entire communities of people backed up by their own proof that is convincing enough for them and maybe even you. It's just a matter of asking, typing it in on a search engine, and you can find unlimited information to confirm any belief you want. So, it's clearly led to a problem where people are believing everything and anything. And that's not exclusive to just like dumb people. I see that cope a lot where it's like, oh, only stupid people fall for things like flat earth or goblins. Like, believe it or not, there is a very real community of people that post goblin sightings in the real world. I'm not yanking your chain. It is a community of people that believe goblins walk amongst us, and they'll take these little videos at night of what I imagine is just like little like raccoons or something, and they're like, holy shit, it's a goblin ran across my front yard at 4 a.m. And the same community exists for gnomes. Gnomes have recently been popping off in popularity with people believing there are actually gnomes that walk amongst us. Giants, another one. We recently had a big giant hoopla where a TikToker thought he saw a giant on top of a mountain, and a lot of people believed it. Point is, anyone will believe anything, as long as they just want to, and they can always find evidence for it. And this extends to people that aren't just traditionally, observably stupid people. Anyone, regardless of their intelligence, can easily fall into this rabbit hole where if they hear something that sounds interesting, or maybe they just want to live in a fairy tale or, escape from reality, believe in fantasies, they can easily find evidence to cement those beliefs and have them locked into actually thinking that it's real. And they just kind of fall for it, even if they are just like actually smart people. It can happen. And this extends to even people in power, like the president of Mexico, who recently made a statement about an elf, believing that he had found a real elf picture. And he proudly posted this so-called elf evidence, and my god, how beautiful it was. Did you see the president of Mexico posted a picture of an elf he saw? Is it like a confirmed elf sighting? Mexican president posts photo of what he claims is a Mayan elf. Well, I'll withhold judgment. Let me take a peek here. A mischievous woodland spirit in Maya folklore. Jesus Christ, he's found it. That looks more like one of the NPCs out of Destiny 2 than an elf. This is like the world's most demented elf. Why does this shit look like Darth Sidious up there? How the fuck is that an elf? In what universe? Like, even suspending disbelief, like, obviously this is clearly not anything paranormal or any kind of cryptid. But, like, in what universe would this even be misconstrued as an elf? This is not one of Santa's little helpers, I'll tell you that much. It's 100% an owl doing a hunched shoulder thing. Well, bah humbug to you too, Ebenezer Scrooge. I think this could very well be like a Jawa, perhaps, from Star Wars. Maybe he was disassembling the president of Mexico's car or something and then ran away when he heard him coming. Goatman returns. Oh, no. You don't get a picture of Goatman. If you're close enough to get a picture of Goatman, you're already dead. That guy does not fuck around. I think Goatman is the only cryptid with an actual confirmed kill. Because some group of teenagers that was hunting down Goatman fell off a train track. One of the teenagers fell off and died. Because Goatman resides at the other end of a train track. One of them fell off and died. So Goatman does actually have a kill under his belt. Goatman is real and he ate my ass. Yeah, I believe it. That guy's a fucking pervert, honestly. Mothman. Too small to be Mothman and there's no giant wings. We watched an entire breakdown on the lore of Mothman. This looks nothing like him. Unless he's wearing a hoodie. It also looks nothing like this. I like how he puts the side by side though. As if it's supposed to be like definitive proof. Like, look! They're the same picture. It's the same thing. This looks like a Jimmy Neutron carving. According to the traditional Maya belief, Aluxes are small, mischievous creatures that inhabit forests and fields and prone to playing tricks on people, such as hiding things. Some people leave small offerings to appease them. Well, why would you leave small offerings? Wouldn't that just entice them to keep coming back for the offerings? That seems like a terrible plan. That'd just make them gluttonous. You're feeding them? Interesting. Hey, maybe the joke's on us. Maybe he's right. Maybe that really is a little elf. A little goofball up there. This picture is from 2 years ago. What? I thought he took the picture. I thought that was the whole point. You're telling me this guy just Googled, like, Aluxes, whatever they're called? The fuck is the point of that? Massachusetts police on the hunt for a 200-pound stolen Shrek statue. Wow, that thing's beautiful. This is 200 pounds. This looks like someone made it out of clay in arts and crafts. I haven't read very much so far, but I'm going to tell you this feels like a psyop. I feel like this is all a big scam. They just wanted to get this in the headlines, so they made this knowing it's an abomination, a beautiful one at that. And they pretended that it's been stolen, reported it missing in order for all of the news agencies to pick up on it as a massive ploy. I see right through the scheme. Stolen by the deep state. Yeah. God damn it. The Illuminati's taking our Shrek statues. Is virginity the secret to immortality? We here at Splash TV have uncovered shocking new evidence that may leave many of you shitting.
But before we begin, what exactly do we mean by virginity?
It's not simply the act of abstaining from sexual intercourse. You have to also never ejaculate or achieve an orgasm if you want to obtain immortality.
Here is some of the damning evidence we have found.
There's a species of jellyfish called the Tortopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish, and as you can probably guess by its name, it is by all definitions immortal. How is this possible? How can it achieve immortality? Well, the answer is simple. It lives in solidarity. It doesn't have porn. It doesn't have anything to tempt it into ejaculating. It has never blown a load in its life. Its cum tanks have always been full. And since it lives in solidarity away from any other members of its species, it is never fucked. It has never ever felt a jellyfish vagina in its life, and neither has a jellyfish vagina felt a jellyfish cock. So, since it has never had sex or ejaculated or had an orgasm, it is able to live forever.
If that isn't convincing enough, take a closer look, and you will see something that almost resembles the outline of a grail. We here at Splash TV believe that this is the holy grail of legend, set to give its owner eternal youth. But if you think that goopy sea animals is the only evidence we got, you're fucking wrong! Where do you think slut-shaming comes from? You think it's a modern invention? Virtually every culture in human history had rules against casual sexuality. Adulterers would oftentimes be shamed, ostracized, made into pariahs, or even executed. And the same treatment in some cases would even be extended to masturbators.
Why? What did they know then that we don't know now? Could it be that they knew? When you ejaculate, when you achieve an orgasm, when you mash pissers, when you do the bedroom rodeo, when you make a mattress ham sandwich, that you lose your immortality in that moment? Is that why sperm is white or sometimes clear? Because it's your immortality leaving your body? The answer is a resounding yes. We here at Splash TV have cannonballed into the deep end of this pool of semen, and we have found answers that no one was prepared for, not even us. In fact, many of history's biggest mysteries can be explained when examined through virginity-tinted glasses.
Now, as many of you already know, the incredibly talented and handsome hosts of this show, Charming Charlie and I, greatly value our privacy. But we still believe it has finally come time for us to reveal that we are actually distant descendants of the greatest splashers in human history, the Atlanteans. Because their history is so close to our hearts, we decided to do some digging. What we found is a little sad. As it turns out, the Atlanteans were not always the great splashers we know them as today.
We're all familiar with the tale. A thriving continent out of nowhere just sinks into the sea and becomes Earth's butt plug. No explanation given for how this could possibly be possible. Until now. It's actually quite simple. Atlantis was the first utopia, a civilization devoid of ejaculation, masturbation, wet dreams, and sex, until one day, every Atlantean engaged in a continent-wide orgy, and it was on that day, that moment of weakness, that they all squirted their immortality away, and under the collective weight of all of that baby gravy, the entire continent sank into the ocean, never to be seen again.
On to more evidence. Did you know that at some point mankind was on the brink of extinction? Our numbers dropped as low as 2,000. Looking further into this, we found that this time coincided with early humans first discovering masturbation. Coincidence? You decide.
A very sad tale indeed, but not the only example. Pompeii. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that story. Mount Vesuvius erupted, causing incredible amounts of devastation. But do you know what caused the volcano to erupt? Because it wasn't just nature. It was virginity. That's right. Science has recently found a very strong link between a population's virginity status and the activity level of a volcano. And if you check the scriptures revolving around Pompeii on the night that Mount Vesuvius erupted, you'll find that 4 couples had sex on that night. Is that a coincidence? I think not. You be the judge.
Unbelievable. But we got even more.
This for me was the straw that fucked the camel's back and made me a believer in the theory. Why do you think it's so difficult for us to ejaculate? Why are there so many hoops we have to jump through? Some of us need to light candles, some of us need to dress in rubber suits, some of us need things inserted into our assholes as if used as a key, unlocking our jizz cannons. It's not something we can do whenever we want. For example, spitting. I could spit right now. I could go out of my apartment, I could go on the sidewalk, and I could just fucking take a big old loogie right onto the sidewalk. I can't do that with ejaculation. I can't just spit out cum whenever I feel like it. There's a specific procedure I have to follow. I have to get my penis erect first, and then I have to start singing songs in my head, and then sometimes I'll have to close my eyes and start screaming really loud. There's just a lot of things I have to do. Why is it so difficult? It's because it's our body's way of holding on to our immortality, because it knows that that's the key.
So let me ask you a question. Is this inherent difficulty of us losing our immortality why there is so much sexuality just being shoved down our throats in daily life? Is this why you cannot even watch a movie anymore without being bombarded by asinine sex scenes? Why is it that losing your virginity is so encouraged in society? Think about it. Every industry relies on us dying at some point. They rely on us being mortal. Do you think there would be a medical industry if we were immortal? Fuck no. Why should there be? Why would anyone pay for expensive cancer medication if they were immortal? They wouldn't. No one would. It wouldn't even matter if you got shot in the fucking head because you're still immortal. You wouldn't need any doctors, any medical corporations making fucking pills. Would you still buy a car? Would you still buy plane tickets and get fucked over by airlines? Probably not. All of those products are things we use to save time. We buy cars because we don't want to spend 2 hours walking to the fucking movies. But if we were immortal, we wouldn't have to save time. Because we have all the time we want, we wouldn't probably even have a concept of time. If you're gonna live for 2 billion years, why would it matter to you if you have to fucking walk 2 hours to a movie? It wouldn't. You would save time. There goes all the fucking fossil fuel industry, which is basically like half of the Middle East. Would the prison system not collapse immediately? Why would we lock anyone up anymore? Why would we have to put away murderers? Who are they gonna murder? There goes another corrupt industry down the shitter. Doesn't it sound like all of these industries need us mortals? Doesn't it sound like they need a steady supply of rats for their rat race? Doesn't it sound like they make all of their profits off of our backs? It's almost like they would have a vested interest in keeping us ignorant. It's almost as if they need us to remain mortal. Now, if this sounds like a crazy Alex Jones-esque fear-mongering conspiracy theory to you, it's not. Behind the scenes, we know a lot of people, we have lots of connections, so we decided to share our theory with a bunch of scientists. One of those scientists is astrophysicist and overused TV personality Professor Neil deGrasse Tyson. A few days ago, Professor Tyson was invited to be on a panel at the yearly Diaper Fetishist Convention. He decided to speak up and talk about the duality of virginity and immortality.
I never once was thinking we have to drop one to get the other. It's the merging of the two, which, if you invest some thought into it, becomes a very natural marriage.
The next day, Professor Tyson was found dead at his apartment. There is clearly a group at work here, an upper elite, some sort of 1% higher class, warmongers, oppressors, tyrants who are trying to keep us down, people who have an interest in keeping us ignorant. They need us to be mortal so we can grease the cog and wheels of their contrived corrupt machine, so they can keep profiting off of us mortals. They have destroyed the inheritance of mankind. They have destroyed immortality, wiped it from the books. But I'm no longer gonna be silent. Who are they? Lizard people? The Arabs? Jews? No. All of those poor people have just been mocked endlessly. They have been scapegoats. They're not at fault. We all know who is behind this. It's of course, the Air Nation.
What's up everybody, it's Critical. I just read an interesting news story about the Massachusetts State Police and the National Guard going to extreme lengths to take a woman's marijuana plant, single marijuana plant, one weed. And it is truly a riveting tale of bravery, valor, and cunnilingus. In a world where weeds, the pots, are making people high, and if you take a hit from a bong that has weed smoke in it, you grow ass wieners. There needs to be heroes to stop ass wieners from happening, and luckily for us, the Massachusetts State Police and the National Guard were the chosen heroes. So let's dive right into this story. There was an evil 81-year-old mastermind behind the growing of the marijuana plant, Margaret Holcomb, or should I say, Margaret Whole Fist, because she got the whole fist of the law shoved right in her cooter. She was growing it for medicinal purposes because she suffers from glaucoma and arthritis, and it helped with that. Yeah, I'm sure, Margaret, and I snort coke because it makes my scrotum smell better. This filthy scumbag was growing the devil's lettuce in the wrong part of town. According to her son, Tim Holcomb, the family was eating lunch when they heard a helicopter outside. They went out to see a military-style helicopter circling the house, as well as seeing two men in the helicopter holding a device that he suspects was a thermal imager to detect marijuana plants. What a fucking useless invention that is. A thermal imager for marijuana plants? I might as well invent something that can look for ukuleles within a 0.5 mile radius from your position. So fucking dumb. And also, why do they need a military-style helicopter for this bust? They would have done their research and surely knew that this house belonged to an 81-year-old woman. I don't know why the fuck they're busting in there like they think they're about to take down Cobra Commander. So the A-team seized the marijuana plant, and that's basically the end of the story. Once again, the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff penises, and it's all fun and games. Oh yeah, look, they look like they were ready to go to war on this 81-year-old woman for no reason, and you know it's an entertaining story until you get to the point where it says, Holcomb said he was told that as long as he did not demand that a warrant be provided to enter the property or otherwise escalate the situation, authorities would file no criminal charges. That's fucking disturbing. Now that is something you are supposed to do. You're supposed to ask for a warrant. It is your right as a citizen. But apparently if you ask for a warrant, it is escalating the situation and could lead to criminal charges. That's fucked up. That's why people are afraid of the police. I'm not one of those fuck the police kind of people, but right there, that is why people are afraid of the police. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you exercise your rights, you can be charged as a criminal, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. But anyway, who knows what's next? Maybe they'll bulldoze through my front door in a tank because I think my oregano is weed. You know, being totally honest, I won't even put my ass in your face. If I was a police chief, if I was in command, I would do this shit all the time for the most mundane of reports. Oh, what's that? A 16-year-old was drinking a beer on the front porch of his house? Alright, I'm gonna need 3 SWAT armored vehicles, 1 Apache, and 2 wrecking balls. Let's show this hooligan that we mean business. This punk ain't gonna drink no beer underage on my fucking watch. And then I'd have us roll up with like a really cool soundtrack. I'd have like a designated guitar player like in Mad Max. I'd have like a truck and a guitar player designated that shit. Oh man, I'd go all out just for fun, just as a joke. That'd be awesome. I would go out of my way to find trivial crimes to bust. I'd just sit in front of the computer screen watching all of the traffic cams and just wait for someone to jaywalk. And then I'd go to the National Guard, I'd hit them up, be like, no, we need the Batman tumbler. I want you to get over there. And they'd fucking scoot in sideways and give him like a $3 ticket, but really intimidate him for it. Man, that shit would just be fun. Maybe that's what these people did in Massachusetts. Maybe it was just a joke at the police headquarters. Hey Eustace, you know an 81-year-old's growing weed in her backyard. How many? 1 weed. Alright, get everyone on it. Get the whole squad. We're sending the whole department at him. We're gonna hit him with the whole blitz. I'm honestly surprised they weren't deploying tear gas from the helicopter, blasting in the front door, giving the poor old lady a heart attack. What if though, in like an alternate universe, when they'd sent all of this cavalry to this 81-year-old's house, they fucking needed it. Like, she came out, guns blazing, she's got like a fucking turret, her house just transforms into this fucking fortress, and she's just fighting off the police in some type of vicious Battle of Gettysburg type of shit. Just some like real futuristic Terminator type battle. Damn, that'd be cool. But yeah, no, this story in reality was actually just kind of sad that they wasted so much money just to use all of this unnecessary force on an 81-year-old. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah. Rubber Boot Soldier. Butt stomping videos are right up your alley. Okay, let's see. Oh, hey, it's this guy. Yeah, this is the guy that just sits on shit and it blows up in his asshole. I forgot about this guy. This guy's great. Finally, real fucking content. A good suggestion in a sea of dog shit. Now this is how you fucking do it. In his PVC waders, no less. Smothering it in his asshole. Expert technique. Showing a little moose knuckle there. Wonderful. Making sure to spread all across the open crack. Isn't this a fetish? It wasn't until this guy put on his waders. Oh! For a second there, I thought he was going to Kegel the whole goddamn thing. This is just a trailer for the new Duck Dynasty season. It's coming back, baby. Man, PVC waders never look so clean. Oh! Only one cheek? Oh no! He's soloing it. Oh, he's just giving a little kiss. I see. I see what he's doing here. I shouldn't have doubted the master. I wasn't looking. Is this a close-up of his... What am I looking at? Oh, I see. It's a close-up of his asshole. Farting on bread. We didn't even finish this one. What happened? Did he shit himself? Why did I stop? Take that, bread! I hope you learned your lesson. Being all high in carbs and shit. Oh, he's fucking juicing it on him. Oh, God, how much more can he have in the tank? Have mercy, good lord. Ooh, Pepperidge Farms will remember that one. Yeah, this is fishing at its highest level. He brought out the old PVC waders. I even left a like on this video from last time. When the fuck did we watch this? Like a year ago? Whoa! Grand finale. Out of nowhere dropping the stink on it. No, it was quite the show. That bread's never looked happier. What do the comments say? I love the description. I farted on a loaf of bread, right to the point. Sitting on Orange butt crush. That is a tough opponent, and Orange is not just going to give way. This is going to be a tug-of-war between his asshole and the Orange. Can't tell who's winning. Oh! He's done it! In the battle of wills, the PVC waders have won again. Peeing and stomping on bread. Man, this guy fucking hates bread. He's got it out for him. Jesus Christ. Bread better watch out. Rubber boots and horse shit. Going where no man has gone before. On purpose, at least. Oh, look at that. It was coming up for air. And he didn't let it. He said, no siree, not on my watch. Get stink-faced. Damn. Finally, a good suggestion. Polar bear alert agent? What kind of profession is that? A guy who pokes polar bears to see if they're alive? Surely there's an easier way.
Officer Sid McGregor has one of the most dangerous.
Get out of there! He's drive-bying it.
Helicopter requires
oh my god!
There's not really any room for
this looks like something Team Rocket would do to try and get a Snorlax. Calling in the choppers and shit?
Sid McGregor puts his life on the line.
So this guy's just a professional polar bear scarer. He just runs around scaring polar bears.
Was forced to develop its own polar bear police force.
It sounds like the fucking plot to Saturday morning cartoons.
Officer Sid McGregor
Rip Van Torn here with the Polar Bear Police Force.
Here's one of our covert traps here. You can get out and have a look at it.
Covert, huh?
In order to entice
I hardly knew it was there until you pointed it out to me.
With seal meat. They can detect a seal 10 football fields away, hidden under 3 feet of ice.
What a cool superpower.
As a human,
I'm Polar Bear Man. I don't have their strength or anything about them except for their ability to detect seals 10 football fields away. What do you mean I can't join the Avengers? You guys don't hunt seals?
Which pose a considerable risk to the people of Churchill. Simply
stupid fucking bear eating garbage.
With a hungry bear.
Eating my poop-filled trash bags. Enjoy. Bon appetit. Fucking dummy.
It basically stalked him till each time it attacked him and dragged him away by the head. It killed him.
You can see you're still shaken up about it.
Once at the transfer station, arming them, Sid uses a shotgun loaded with cracker shells. Cracker shells are a non-lethal explosive device similar to firecrackers.
Nice. Get out the fake, the Eustace bag mask that scares Courage and scare the bear right up in his face. Traumatize it. Booga booga booga.
Bear away from town.
Is over this way.
What?
He's not intent on going there. He wants to come back here, so...
Does this guy feel anything anymore? He's hunted polar bears so much that he's lost his emotions. Like One Punch Man, but instead of going bald from training, he just loses his emotions.
The polar bear
God, what is this, Area 51 for polar bears?
Contains 20 cells, enough to hold 16 single bears and 4 family groups.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time, dumb polar bear.
Without food or everyone, especially the children of Churchill.
Now see, if the polar bears were smart, they would blend in during trick-or-treating. They'd wear like a human mask.
Sid McGregor is one of several officers that are patrolling.
Sid McGregor is also a part-time child scaring agent. He scares children, just for fun. Wildly fucking pumping and shooting his firecracker shotgun. The candy's mine, dweebs!
Roaming polar bear as it heads towards the back of a resident's house.
He's drunk. He's stumbling home.
For his own safety, he pulls out his shotgun and heads off into the darkness after it.
Well, how about a little credit to the cameraman who's charging this polar bear with nothing but a camera? God damn it, it's Sid again. Fuck. He's got his firework gun. I'm going home.
Yeah,
why not just give him other things that make loud noises, like a megaphone he can scream into, also a drum that he can beat on with one hand while firing the shotgun with the other? Just make him a one-man army of just obnoxious noise to scare the bears.
Has been spotted roaming the outskirts of
that
town.
Goddamn vandal.
Officer
Why didn't he get the message?
Conducts operations from the ground.
We have a helicopter going up. We had a
Oh
bear
boy.
in town.
That bear just got 3 stars GTA. That helicopter's coming out.
As polar bears are very intelligent animals.
On the polar bear alert team, there is no trained pilots. They just get lucky sometimes. Sometimes the polar bears win. It's, you know, it's a toss-up.
Morning. Tough to get if you went in a big bush, yeah.
Oh shit, I think I see him.
But if he's in that big bush,
I think he's got a coke back there.
Come out. I mean, they're...
It's crucial to be high enough not to disrupt the bear, yet close enough to swoop down quickly if necessary.
Well, two-piece it. Hit it with a flashbang first, disorient it, and then bang. Hit it with the trank.
Which is a combination of teledamine and zolazepam.
Don't tell the polar bears. Don't give away the secret ingredient. Jesus Christ. Fucking stupid, Sid. They're gonna reverse engineer it.
Compare it to 33.
I hope they pose with the polar bear like fishermen that get a big tuna. Just on each arm, smiling for Facebook. And then preaching about anti-vaccination
Males
movement.
commonly weigh between 900, placed in a net and flown off to the bear jail, where it will spend up to 3 weeks before being released back into the wild.
I love that they send the bears to a bear jail for 3 weeks of rehabilitation to make them think about what they did. Oh god, the choppers are already rolling in deep. Get the fuck out! Run!
For ringed seals. Numerous scientists have warned that if global warming continues to persist at its current rate, the polar bear is unlikely to survive.
That as well as pretty much everything else, but this is about polar bears, so I see why that's singled out. Fair enough. Luckily we have Sid with his firecracker shotgun to reverse climate change.
Put onto that road, I probably would have ended up destroying him. The bottom line is
Those are big words there, Sid. Don't let the polar bears hear you mocking them like that. It's like some frat bro shit. Yeah, if her boyfriend stepped foot in my lax house, I would beat his ass. To be fair though, Sid did drift in and fucking firecracker shell it. God, does anyone live in this town, or is it just Sid scaring away bears? It's like Will Smith in I Am Legend.
The bear is now wandering around the
It's a
town
bear
center.
driving the car.
Sid cuts through.
Picked him up a little bit.
Use your turn signal, you fucking idiot! Hey! Nice work, Sid. Flawless technique. Yeah, baby. That'll teach him.
Useful in keeping the polar bear's head above water when swimming. Warm, thick fur, and huge paws which help spread the bear's weight.
This is like an ASPCA commercial trying to get me to adopt a bear right now, and I'm sold.
The polar bear's teeth
Where do
also
I go?
differ from
And
those of
are
the
they
brown
trained?
bear,
Will
which
it kill
lives
me?
on a largely vegetarian diet. There are about 1,200 polar bears in the western Hudson Bay region, and Churchill has about 1,000 residents.
Oh, outnumbered. Outgunned. Outskilled. The only thing
This
separating
dangerous
the
ratio keeps the
humans
polar
from the
bear
polar
alert
bears
team
is
on their
Sid.
toes.
He's the line in the
So
sand.
many bears roaming suddenly finds himself stuck in the semi-frozen terrain.
Oh my god, the bears put a trap. They've got him right where he wants him. Wait, what the fuck is he loading in? That's not a firecracker round at all. You've gone insane, Sid!
Although Sid has a
Get
clear
out of
shot
there!
at the bear, he has to take his time and carefully shoot the dart between the bear's neck
Man,
and
that
shoulder.
bear does not give a shit at all about Steve. Oh god damn it, Sid, he's just trying to find his way to the bar. He's no different than us, just stronger.
This is an
He's like, God damn it,
dangerous
Sid.
situation.
You could have just asked me to leave.
And has no way of
Why didn't we try diplomacy? Why use the stick when we can use the words? He's very calm about this encounter. Hey bear, are you asleep? Hey bear.
Bear. Bear.
Well, he's actually taking my script here.
Bear.
You drink too much, buddy.
I just have to put him in the right position.
Oh, don't play with his wiener, you weirdo. Get him on his side so he doesn't vomit.
No, I'll be right back.
Yeah, cameraman, can you keep an eye on this
far
bear?
Too heavy for him to get it into his truck by himself.
Hope it doesn't wake up
Sid
and kill
calls
you,
for backup.
cameraman. Does this guy end up in bear jail? He didn't do
They
anything
sling a rope
wrong.
around the bear's paws and begin to pull it out over the rocks, always treating the bear with great respect and care.
Ah, yes.
The drug allows the bear to breathe normally, and this helps to keep its body temperature at the right level so that it does not get too hot.
Nothing makes me feel more
As soon as they get to a clearing, the bear is placed on a stretcher and loaded onto Officer McGregor's truck.
Nothing makes me feel like I'm among my friends when I pass out drunk and they drag me by my legs across a bed of broken glass and rocks. Oh, thank you.
We'll do him up right here, right?
Expert work, boys. That bear's gonna wake up feeling like a new man.
Won't want to come back towards town anytime soon.
Unless this was his fetish. Getting knocked out, gang raped, and then taken to bear jail.
Weighs 1,056 pounds.
Lightweight.
Goes by the name of Brutus. It takes 8 men just to lift him onto a stretcher.
8 pussies, you mean? Only 1,000 pounds? You can binge that.
First time in 1999, and has been captured and released 8 times since.
Damn, this guy's going in and out of bear jail. Hopefully Brutus doesn't repeat the crime again. He's gotta be about tired of this. Poor Brutus just keeps going to bear jail. Am I home yet, boys? Hey, wait, this isn't bear jail. What the fuck is this? Freedom? No, just take me back.
I just want to pull his foot out, so I'll push and just...
He's just loving the
pull it
ride.
out 'cause he's kinda
Hey, yo, Sid, you got any more of that Telazol?
There we go. We'll flip it back.
Hey, what are you boys doing back there? His lips quivering. Telazol.
It's not
I need my
killing
fix.
There, but he just
Sid!
finished doing 30 days.
Hey, Sid, where's that Telazol at? I don't have a problem. I can quit anytime I want. I just really like a little Telazol. Yeah, put the glue stick away. Get that Telazol out,
We're
baby.
set. Hopefully, won't see him again for a while.
Nah, he's an 8-time repeat offender. You know he's ending up back in bear jail.
Taking these bears back into
Walking the
wild.
path of sobriety isn't an easy one,
It's
Brutus.
a good feeling to know that they're
We're with
going
you.
out into the land